This video is about audience analysis, and in order to know what audience analysis is, we need to know that how to do that. What is the need to incorporate audience analysis in your research? So I hope most of you are done with controversy analysis paper and controversy analysis speech. So this is the time that you need to start working on audience analysis. So how are you going to do that? Let's have a look at what audience analysis is. So what is an audience analysis? Audience analysis is the process of examining information about your affected population. An audience analysis is the process used to identify and understand the priority and influencing audiences. And two things audience analysis can do: estimate audience sizes and preferences. So you are going to examine the information about the affected population. For instance, if you're working on maternal health, you are going to go and talk to or want to know the perception on the maternal health of the women. If you're working on poverty alleviation, then you need to identify the affected population. If you're working on environment issues, then you need to know that how and in which way environment is affected, and which population is mostly affected by that particular disease or particular problem or particular issue. Why conduct an audience analysis? An audience analysis informs the design of material, messages, media selection, and activities. It establishes a clear, detailed, and realistic picture of the audience. As a result, messages and activities are more likely to resonate with audience and lead to the desired change in behavior. Who should involve in audience analysis? All the major stakeholders. And in which way you can include them? You can interview them. You may have focus group discussions, community dialogue, small group meetings, task for engagement, surveys, participatory research, and stakeholder workshops. You can invite them and you can conduct a workshop. How to conduct an audience analysis? Step number 1, identify potential audience. Step number 2, select the priority audience. Step number 3, identify priority audience characteristics. Step number 4, identify knowledge, attitudes, and practices. Step number 5, identify barriers and facilitators. Step number 6, consider audience segmentation. Step number 7, identify key influencers. Step number 8, organize influencing audience information. Step number 9, develop audience profiles. So these 9 steps, I just include you how to in order to conduct an audience analysis. Now I will go in detail that into each step, that what each step actually looks like. So identify potential audience. So you need, if you're working on a family planning, on maternal health, you need to know that who are the people who are being affected by that particular issue. So probably a doctor, female staff, the helping staff, the junior staff, and the female itself who go through that labor pain become your participatory audience. And step number 2, as you can see, select the priority audience. You need to identify that which women actually, and of course it's the women, but what kind of women who need family planning, who need to go into that maternal health, and whose health are at stake. And you need to know the men of a particular age group who can control these decisions of household and in their surroundings, and then can influence the other people, and the healthcare providers and the policymakers. So probably you need to identify these 4 people in healthcare who are directly related to the issue which is being addressed here. So you need to ask these questions: who is most affected? How many people are in the audience? How important it is that the audience change their behavior? How likely it is the audience will change their behavior? Who controls the behavior or the resources required for a behavior change? Step number 3, identify priority audience characteristics. You need to know socio-demographic, geographic, psychographic, communication channels, and other opportunities. In social demography, you can see sex, gender, age range, education level, job type, language, and etc. Geography, the region, rural, urban sources. You can get it from census data, local government. Psychographic, needs, concerns, hopes, aspirations, values, interests, activities, attitudes, communication, channels. You now social media and print media has revolutionized our ways. Other opportunities where audiences spend time, activities, what are their social life, where they likely to socialize with each other. So these areas you need to know. Step number 4: identify knowledge, attitudes, and practices. So knowledge, attitude, self-image, perceived risk, norms, self-efficacy, emotions, social support and influence, personal advocacy, and then this circle continues, it grows. Identify barriers, step number 5, and facilitators. So you need to see the availability. Are the services or products needed to adopt the desired behavior available to the priority audience on regular basis? Accessibility, whether they are accessible. Affordability, can everybody afford it? And what age and what income group you are catering towards. Acceptability, whether people accept this. In religious terms, many people say no to such family planning issues. They don't concerned about maternal health. Consider audience segmentation. Urban women of reproductive age, family planning, priority audience, urban women of reproductive age, issue, family planning. So consider audience segmentation. And what do you mean by consider audience segmentation? Because why do you need to do that? Because you cannot cover overall entire region in your research. So you need to segmentize. You need to look for particular segment, and then you can focus that area, and or you can focus your um, uh, focus your research into that area. Step number 7: identify key influencers. So influencers are then can be individuals, it can be group, and they have different roles to play. For instance, friends, family, leaders, teachers, health providers, and media. Social media is now the key influencer as well. Step number 8: organize influencing audience information. Who influences the priority audience? Mother-in-law? How much influence do they have? What behaviors do they currently influence the priority audience? So all these miscellaneous questions that you can look at it. And then how strongly the group influence the priority audience. These are the same questions. What behaviors they encourage the priority audience to practice? Why they would encourage or discourage the desired behavior? How to reach them? Step number 9: develop audience profile. And profile encompasses so many different things: the goals, the aspirations, what the value system that person is coming from, which income group that they're coming from, how do they like to spend their spare time, what is the practice of their desired behavior, biggest worries in life, what marital status they have, how many kids do they have, typical day they spend with, so their patterns, their thinking pattern, their social pattern, and so on and so forth. And there are two methods in audience analysis that you can conduct. One is qualitative, the other one is quantitative. Qualitative is in-depth interviews, reviews, case studies, unstructured, semi-structured responses, observation, participatory and non-participatory. In quantitative, you can have surveys, structured responses, and any other way of including data where numbers are included. That will come under quantitative. Similarly, in qualitative, you can have historical research, descriptive research. All right, G. Now the task for you is steps to do. Step number 1: think of your research question that you came up with when you were doing topic proposal assignment, and I asked you to ponder upon one research question that you would likely to answer. Now think how you can find answer of your research question through audience analysis. I would encourage you to have a survey, but if you interested in doing an interview, I don't mind that. Do you feel, number 3, do you feel the need to revise and revisit your research question? Do you think that you need to have a look at it again, and you need to revise that research question because your research question is not precise enough to answer or get an answer? So you can do that. And step number 4, create a 7-question set designed to discover your classmates' attitude and perceptions about your research. You need to create a 7-question set designed to discover your classmates' attitudes and perceptions about your research. So I'm just looking into your 7 questions you need to come up with in order to get the answer of your research question. And you're going to know your classmates' perceptions and behaviors about your research, about the area that you are going to conduct. And the question that you're going to get, we will cover that in which way you want them to answer. So when designing your questions, keep in mind the following points. Make sure that your survey questions are directly related to your speech topic, your research topic, your area, your controversy analysis paper, your topic proposal. Create and use a standard set of questions. Number 3, keep surveys short so everybody can take time and fill them up. Number 4, tell them the purpose of the survey and make sure that they understand that their participation is voluntary. Don't rely on just few respondents to inform you about your entire audience. So you need to at least get 20 responses, 10 to 20 responses. So this is how you're going to do that. Pretty much that's it from my side. I sign off for today's session. I see you in another time.